European Union officials hoped it would be a model of streamlined trade deals where negotiations could bypass national parliaments. But now, the free trade deal reached between the EU and Singapore in 2014 hit a stumbling block. The European Court of Justice found that the European Commission can't implement the deal without it being ratified by member states on certain topics. And this means 38 parliaments across the member states, both national and regional ones, can veto the agreement. Experts say if the rule becomes a standard process, it could complicate a post-Brexit trade deal with the UK. And joining me now in our Singapore studios to discuss this is Nicholas Hanna, a lawyer specializing in Brexit. Mr. Hanna, great to have you with us. So what do you make of this decision by the European Court of Justice?
I think you need to look at the background to this. This is a relationship that has been going on with ASEAN and the member states for the EU for quite some years. Complications existed in time, and the EU decided that it would do a free trade agreement with Singapore. That started in 2010. 4 years later, an inked free trade agreement between Singapore was in place. Problems started there. The various members of the European Union decided that it had issues with certain things and the exclusive competence of the European Commission. As a result of that, the European Commission took it to the European Court of Justice to decide the issue. Can we, as a Commission, decide a free trade agreement?
But the big problem here, Mr. Hanna, is that this ratification process could take up to 5 years. So this Singapore ruling will surely impact a future post-Brexit trade deal.
Well, it's going to have certain implications, that's no doubt. The issues that you have to look at are exactly what issues were in the agreement which the member states are allowed now to participate. And really, there are only two issues, which means that if the Commission decided to take those two issues out, it could ratify this.
So technically, it could be expedited.
Correct. That is correct.
So what happens then to a potential UK-EU deal going forward?
That's a good question. I think we have to be very clear about this. Brexit is about the exit of Britain. It is not about a free trade agreement. That is a very important point. The second thing I think we have to be quite clear about is that Singapore, when it entered into this free trade agreement, it was looking at Britain, which is one of its chief parties that it contracts with, it trades with. It's no longer going to be there. That is a big issue.
And briefly, how would you suggest then that Britain proceed given this current environment?
Britain will proceed in this current environment. It will obviously look at this judgment very carefully. It will see how it is going to be implemented across the EU member states, and it will take note. But Britain is probably on its own path as to how it will deal with Brexit.
Nicholas Hanna, partner at K&L Gates, thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you.